Hey everybody, and welcome to this module. We are going to cover social media just a little bit. We're not going to dive in to the depths of the ocean on this one, but we are going to touch it briefly because I'm often asked, why do I need to worry about blogging if I post on social media all the time? If I'm on Facebook interacting, if I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, whatever, Twitter, why do I need to blog too? The long and the short of it is the fact that you need to start viewing your website as your home base. And so social media should be viewed as like the cherry on top, and your home base is that dish for the ice cream sundae, okay? And everything that you do on your website is the ice cream, is the, chocolate sauce, all of those things. So view social media as like the cherry on top, because you want to start driving traffic to your website because Google recognizes that. It doesn't recognize so much how many people are going to your social media. All right. So, what I mean by all of this, you should be utilizing your website and your blog to drive people to. So, if you are on social media, you should be posting links to blog posts. You should be boosting your interaction with people on your website by driving them from your social media channels. The difference between, actually using social media versus using your blog, they should be a union, a marriage, if you will, of the two elements, because social media should be what you use to drive people to your blog, because Google is going to start measuring how much traffic you're getting on your blog. Google doesn't measure how much traffic your Twitter account gets or your Facebook page gets. It does know how many likes you have, but it's not going to, recognize how many people are visiting each day. It's not going to basically credit you for that. It's just like, oh, okay, whatever. So you need to start thinking of, okay, well, if I want to start getting found, I need to start driving people to my website, because if Google sees that I went from having, 7 people visit my website in April, but in May I had 7,000, they're going to be like, okay, this person is growing by leaps and bounds. We want to showcase them. A couple of ways that you can also help to boost engagement on your blog posts, because I know many of you have said to me in the past, well, no one ever comments, no one ever likes, my blog posts or whatever. Well, here's the thing with that. Social media, it's almost like instant gratification. It gives you a boost of endorphins when you receive a like or when you get a comment, right? Well, blogging, though, it's not the same thing, but you can help yourself by boosting engagement by doing things like, asking clients questions. Give them a reason to, interact with you on that blog post. Or you can also, install a Facebook plugin at the bottom of the post, which will show you how many likes that post has gotten. Those are things that you can do that can help boost interaction. If people don't have a reason to comment or, like it or whatnot, then they're not going to do it. Another thing, when you are sharing, an event or something you've done that is worth, sharing, limit how many photos you actually are sharing of that event or, whatnot, because you should be truly limiting that to about 4 images tops in order to promote a blog post on Facebook. What I used to do, I would pick like 2 or 3 images that I loved and then have a brief description about it, about, those 3 images that I just posted with a link to the blog post. And I tell you what, every single time I had a post that, I had driven social media traffic to, the results were always incredible, because if you have just a social media post, that's where it stops. People are going to like it, and then they're going to keep scrolling. They're not going to take the initiative to be like, I really liked that photo, so I should hop on over to that website. They don't take that kind of initiative. Even though we want them to, they do not do that. So you have to give them a reason, a place to go. you have to drive them to your website, right? So you always want to make it easy for them. You always want to at least put the URL to the post that you want to drive them to. And another thing in talking about the description that you have, the short status or whatever, make sure that you're using keywords in there, because it should be, you should be sprinkling them into your content, especially because that is what Google will recognize. It doesn't recognize how many people are hitting your page each month, but it does see, oh, okay, so she actually talks about it, or he talks about it on there too. Another key element that why blogging is so important, on top of using your social media, is that when you blog, it's giving you a reason to showcase it in more than just one location. So if you have a blog post, you get to show it on Facebook, you get to show it on Pinterest, you get to show it on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. You have multiple outlets to actually put that out there too. So, and it also is almost like an incentive for you to actually blog, because then you're creating content for your social media accounts without having to do double work. You really want to start focusing on engaging with your audience versus how many people you're reaching on, like Facebook, let's say, because the number of clicks on your website is what counts. There has to be a happy medium, because you don't want to link to every single blog post that you've ever written on Facebook, because people are going to get so bored with you if that's all you're posting. You got to keep a little bit of secrecy so that there is an incentive for them to check back onto your blog, in a month or two. If they don't see a post, they're like, oh, well, she has great stuff, or he has great stuff, I want to come back. So don't post, don't give away the farm. The call to action on your social media channels, I know we've talked about this within the course, it should be something like, click here, to see the best man's outrageous, reception dance. It should be something that is inviting, something that, captivates them, something that they're like, oh, I actually want to click on that. It's called clickbait. I hate that word, but that's what it's called. Another element that you want to focus on, when tying social media into your blog posts, is that you want to create a knowledge gap. Like, this is key, because your caption should, trail off. It should make somebody excited, and be like, oh yeah, what are they talking about? Or, what happened? So you should lead, the end of your caption with things like, did you know that? Da, 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 da. What do you think happened? Find out here. So you want to trail off with those things, because it's going to then again drive the traffic to your website. Just one other key element here that I want to talk about quickly is Pinterest. Pinterest seems to be one of the most underutilized channels out there, and especially if you are in the wedding industry and you're not using Pinterest to your advantage, dude, you're missing out big time. Not only is it directly correlated to your SEO, because you are able to validate your posts as being rich pins, article rich pins at that. You are able to basically say you're legit on Pinterest if you have rich pins. Like, people are going to view you as an authority figure right out of the gate. Okay, so a rich pin is something that, so when you go onto Pinterest and you're like, I want to make, something for dinner, and you look up a recipe and all the ingredients are listed below there, magically, that's a rich pin. Okay. So it's just basically, Pinterest has to acknowledge with Google that you are a legitimate site. So in order to do that, you can Google that, how to create rich pins on Pinterest. It'll show you what you need to do. 70% increase in traffic to your website if you have rich pins. So if you're using Pinterest and you're not really seeing a whole lot of, bang for your buck, so to speak, make sure you have rich pins. Okay, make sure you have installed the necessary code in order to get rich pins. Another thing that you want to focus on with Pinterest, if you don't rename your images like we've talked about, alt text, that Pinterest description is going to be blank. So that means that for every single time you pin, you're going to have to like retype in, a description for that. Just do yourself the favor and rename the images from right out of the gate. Another thing I want to point out for Pinterest, do not use hashtags. This is like the one social media channel that is like kind of frowned upon for using hashtags. So do not use them. And also, if you are trying to figure out what you should be renaming your images, if you're like, I don't know, like I'm, writer's block for the day or something, go on to Pinterest, in the search bar, type in keywords and look at the search results that come up. Because then you're going to see what is actually trending. You're going to see what people are searching for. So then you can go back and you can rename your images those sets of keywords. Do you see how Pinterest really does play a major part in it? If you aren't familiar with Tailwind, I highly recommend doing a free trial. If you head over to Wedding Boss Life, you go to the resources page at the very top of the page, you'll see Tailwind there. It will give you, I think, like a free month or something. Try it out. If you have not tried it out, try it out. Because I saw a 50% spike in my own traffic when I started using Tailwind. So Tailwind strategically will drip out pins for you, and it knows when your ideal client is on Pinterest searching for stuff, so it will drip it out at those exact times. And so what that helps to do is it's basically, driving your ideal clients to your website. I mean, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? So I would suggest creating a board for each venue on Pinterest if you are a wedding creative. It doesn't matter if you're a planner or whatnot. The other key element that a lot of people forget to do is to embed like a specific Pinterest board at the end of your blog post, because the two are linked. So a lot of people will hop back. If they're reading a blog post, chances are they like to read, they like to research, they like to, find out different information. Pinterest is that channel. Like that is where people hang out. So you want to make sure that you make it easy for them to go to Pinterest once they're done, on their blog, if they want to, choose to go there. When you're writing descriptions for your pins, you want to limit it to 200 characters. This is where you would do your alt text. You want to be focusing on color, style. Also, it is okay to pin other vendors, other people's pins. It does not have to be all your content. The rule of thumb, though, is that 80% of your Pinterest account should be your own pins. 20% should be other people. So however that kind of plays out, if you are new in the blogging scene, then I would definitely recommend, maybe doing like 50-50 until you really get a handle on things. I hope that helps to show you how like Facebook and Pinterest especially tie into driving traffic to your website and how it all plays. But you need to focus on actually writing the blog post in order to be driving that traffic that you have on social media to your website, because I can almost guarantee you that I'd say probably 70% of the people that follow you or like you or whatever on social media have probably never even gone to your website if you don't make it easy for them to access it. It has to be an easy touch of the finger or click of the button. So I hope that makes sense. As always, email me if you have questions, but I'll see you in the next module.